Hello lovelies, Hadia from Hadias Lebanese Cuisine here. Today we're going to be making the famous Lebanese Fried Kibbeh Balls. I've been making kibbeh for more than 30 years and earned a reputation for being a great kibbeh maker. And here I am to unlock all the secrets of our family recipe. They're crispy on the outside with an oozy savory inside of meat and spices. And now let's get started. Prepare the flavor enhancer, which we call kamouneh. In a bowl of food processor, add the cumin seeds, dried basil, dried marjoram, dried mint, peppercorns, allspice, edible rosebuds, chili flakes if used, bulgur, and chopped onion and pulse a few times and blend to end up with a mix called kamouneh. To prepare the kibbeh dough, place the meat in the freezer for 20 minutes. This will facilitate the grinding process, and using a food processor, grind the meat cubes to a paste-like consistency, preferably in 2 batches, or alternatively ask the butcher to grind the meat in his electric grinding machine and then later you grind it using your food processor. Put the fine bulgur in a large heat-proof dish and pour the boiling water. Now adding boiling water to soak the bulgur is one of the secrets to crispy kibbeh balls. Give a quick stir and set aside for 30 minutes, allowing the bulgur to hydrate and considerably swell. This is an important step. Add the flavor enhancer, the kamouneh you prepared, to the hydrated bulgur and mix to infuse everything together. And of course we're using fine bulgur grade 1. Now after 40 minutes, knead the bulgur while adding 1 cup of ice water, but in a gradual fashion. Knead with your hands for 20 minutes. The more you knead, the better the result is. I don't knead the bulgur with a food processor. I use my hands, just like my granny and mama did. More tedious, as it takes about 20 minutes of kneading, but believe me, this will yield way more crispy balls. Take my words for it. But if you're short of time, you can still grind the bulgur in a food processor, but the result in terms of crispness would not be the same. The vigorous action of food processor will yield a different texture. You will notice at this stage the bulgur has softened. And that's what we want. Remove the meat from the refrigerator and add it to the bulgur. Knead well until the mixture is fully integrated and the dough is soft and comes together in a cohesive ball. You may need to add a bit of more ice water, depending on the consistency of the mixture. Season with salt, and here what the consistency should be like. A cohesive ball, but not too soft. Now the kibbeh ball is ready. Refrigerate. And let's prepare the stuffing. Add oil to a skillet and place over medium heat. Sauté the pine nuts to a golden color. Remove with a slotted spoon and drain on kitchen paper towels and set aside. Using the same oil, sauté the minced meat and cook over medium-high heat about 7 to 10 minutes until the meat is browned and no pink color remains. By the way, use fatty lamb or beef for a more juicy flavor. Add the onions and cook for an additional 7 minutes over medium heat, allowing the onions to wilt. Adding a lot of onions and the filling yields a moist interior. Add the salt, sumac, allspice, white pepper and cayenne if used. Stir well together and toss in the pine nuts. Mix well and set aside to completely cool down. Dampen your hands with some ice water and grab a handful of the raw kibbeh, the size of an egg or smaller. Working with one portion at a time, dig in your finger to make a hole, and work around the hole by pressing your finger to create a thin wall. The wall should be to a thickness of 2 millimeters on all sides. Place a heaped teaspoon of the stuffing. Seal and shape the dough into an oval. And add a touch of water if needed to keep smooth with no pokes or openings. Set the kibbeh balls on a tray as you make them. Let's make a few more to show you the technique. Making my homemade fried kibbeh balls seems daunting, and I have to admit it's such a form of art that can be perfected by practice. But once you learn that, you will be delighted by the result. Preserving my kibbeh family recipe is just saving part of my history and keep it forever for the future generations. And by the way, you can freeze the kibbeh balls in the row stage. Line a sheet of parchment paper on a freezer-proof tray and line up the row kibbeh balls on the parchment paper with some space between them. Leave them to solidify, then store in the freezer for about 4 months. They keep well in the freezer, yes, for 4 months. Let's make one last time to show you the technique. Heat oil to an adequate frying temperature, something like 340 Fahrenheit, and there should be enough oil to cover the kibbeh while they're frying. And deep fry the kibbeh in batches. Please don't crowd the frying pan to avoid a mushy kibbeh. Fry until it's browned from all sides. It takes about 7 to 8 minutes. Every time I make kibbeh, my mind goes back to those memorable days of my granny, mom, and aunties gathering around the kitchen table crafting kibbeh balls in huge batches. Our family recipe is so authentic and succulent. If you've never made them before, you'll be delighted by the result. Remove with a slotted spoon and drain on paper towels. Serve warm or at room temperature. See how beautiful our kibbeh balls are? As you can see from today's episode, it's a straightforward process, but it does require much attention to the technique. The Lebanese table full of mezze isn't complete without those fried kibbeh balls. Honor the ingredients and let them shine. You'll love this kibbeh recipe. Serve it as an appetizer or part of the mezze spread, but I would happily enjoy it with some plain yogurt on the side or with cucumber salad, yogurt and cucumber salad, as it's satisfying lunch or dinner. Ingredients are in the description box with a link to the printable recipe on the blog. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you do, give me a thumbs up and follow. This will help me keep on posting new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the coming video.